Tech mogul Bryan Johnson spends $2 million a year trying to reverse his biological age. He swallows over 100 supplements daily, eats perfectly measured vegan sludge, and undergoes monthly medical interventions that most people can't even pronounce. But here is the uncomfortable truth the longevity industry doesn't want to admit. You can replicate the most potent biological signals of his blueprint protocol for exactly $0. You don't need a billionaire's bank account to slow down death. You just need to understand biology. The first zero-cost intervention targets your circadian rhythm. Johnson uses blacked-out rooms and expensive light therapy devices to regulate his sleep. The biological mechanism he is hacking is the suprachiasmatic nucleus in the brain, which controls the release of cortisol and melatonin. You can hack this for free by viewing outdoor sunlight within 30 minutes of waking up. This solar anchor sets a timer for melatonin release 12 hours later. It costs nothing, but it optimizes deep sleep and growth hormone release just as effectively as a $10,000 bedroom setup. The second lever is nutritional, but not in the way you think. Johnson relies on caloric restriction to lower inflammation and trigger autophagy, the body's cellular cleanup process where it eats its own damaged cells. You don't need his specific menu to trigger this, you just need time-restricted feeding. By compressing your eating window to 8 hours and fasting for 16, you activate the same genetic survival circuits, specifically the Sirtuins, that Johnson is paying millions to optimize. Speaking of optimization, we are constantly breaking down the science of longevity into actionable steps. So if you want to outlive the billionaires, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now to stay ahead of the curve. The third hack attacks mitochondrial decay. Johnson's team obsesses over his VO2 max. The free intervention here is Zone 2 cardio. This is simply moving at a pace where you can hold a conversation, but you cannot sing. Whether it's a brisk walk or a slow jog, keeping your heart rate in this zone for 45 minutes 3 times a week increases mitochondrial density and efficiency. It is the single highest return on investment for longevity, and the only equipment you need is gravity. Fourth is hormetic stress. Johnson uses cryotherapy chambers to reduce inflammation. The mechanism is a shock to the system that forces the body to adapt and grow stronger. You can achieve a nearly identical biological response by turning your shower handle all the way to cold for the last 60 seconds. The spike in norepinephrine and dopamine you get from a cold shower mimics the expensive clinical treatments. Finally, we have the nervous system. Johnson tracks his heart rate variability with clinical precision to manage stress. The free alternative is breathwork, specifically the physiological sigh, 2 inhales through the nose, followed by a long exhale through the mouth. This manually offloads carbon dioxide and flips your nervous system from fight or flight to rest and digest instantly. Here is the measured verdict. Bryan Johnson pays with money. You have to pay with discomfort and discipline. The trade-off is convenience. His protocol is automated by a team. Yours requires willpower. But biologically, the gap between a $2 million protocol and a $0 lifestyle is much smaller than you think. You have the hardware, you just need to run the program.